I think it's very clear this guy has made it to getting nominated, excuse me, for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame before Nas,
Correct.
Snoop Dogg,
Correct.
Wu-Tang,
Correct.
and Outkast.
That all of those are correct. And if you want to slide like a little DMX in there too, we can slide X in there
Well,
too.
DMX isn't eligible.
It's 97, right?
He came
Didn't
out in
they just
'98.
didn't they just break the eligibility rules by a couple
They
of years
broke
though?
the eligibility rules, but again,
Okay, Dark Man X. There we go.
let me go over those names again. And I'm sure there's more. We could say KRS and all that. That would
Oh yeah,
be,
yes.
whatever. We could say Rakim, all that. But
Sorry.
these are guys that should be in there by all standards. They talking about what's the requirements, right? We're talking about significance, influence. I mean, it's what it is. So this guy gets in there. Eminem gets in there, or at least gets nominations, excuse me, before Nas,
Correct.
before Snoop Dogg, before
Last
Wu-Tang Clan,
problem.
and before Outkast. Now, I want to hear from the Eminem fans in the stands and explain to me why. I know you want to say record sales and all that. Explain to me why Eminem gets a nomination to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame before the Wu-Tang Clan, before Snoop Dogg. Please explain that to me. I would love to hear it. I would love to hear it.
There's no valid explanation for this. I think we all know what's going on.
This is what needs to happen at this point,
Okay, go ahead.
and again,
For you to go. I'm just
there are
waiting for you to
two
go.
there are two hip hop Hall of Fames being built right now, and I think what the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame did with this blatant disrespect to many of our hip hop legends, what
Slap.
they've done, they've just totally discredited hip hop being in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It means nothing. Just like I told you offline, for me, the Baseball Hall of Fame means nothing.
It's nothing. It's
Period.
worthless. It's worthless.
So I love Tribe. I love Q-Tip. You know how I feel about Q-Tip. He's my favorite artist. But unfortunately, congratulations to them, but this really means nothing at this point.
It means nothing. It means nothing
It
at all.
means nothing at all.
It means nothing at all. What we should be doing, Mike, which is also what you said behind the scenes, is focusing on our own hip hop Hall of Fame
Yeah.
and backing that because once again, when you trust people outside of this constituency with our culture, they're going to misappropriate, ravage, and just quite frankly, just like separate our culture because what all this does is causes separations. You get what I'm saying? Because when the only reason that you're putting the LL in is because you're like, oh yeah, we should have put him in, but Jay's getting it. Well, that's wrong. Now you're creating a separation and divide that couldn't exist because here's the thing. LL shouldn't have to show up in his 5th or 6th year of eligibility with Jay in his 1st year. It's like it's showing how much you all really don't know what you're doing.
Tribe shouldn't have to show up with
Right.
Eminem walking
Right.
in there. They were
Right.
damn near retired and disbanded by the time he even hit the scene.
They
This is
pretty
a
much
10
were. I
year
mean,
span.
pretty much, Mike. I mean, what? The Love Movement's like September 29th, 1998.
Yeah,
And
no, they were
Is
retired.
like,
They
yeah,
gave us their farewell
yeah,
album before this guy even hit the scene,
right.
and
Slim
you walking
Shady
them
is
in at
like
the same
April of
time.
'99.
Cut it
Right. So
out.
they had retired 6 or 7 months before his career even started.
Cut it out. And I don't want to hear that shit about Infinite or whatever. Nobody knew who Eminem was at that point.
I didn't know who Eminem was.
DeCarlo said they're doing it for ratings, and you know what? That's a good point. I do want to hit on that. We do have to understand that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is a museum. They sell tickets. I went out there and bought a ticket or bought 2 tickets myself
Oh,
and went and visited it. You know what I mean? It's a nice little shrine and all that, but this is for ticket sales. And I guess we have to look at it as that. Once again, though, credibility gone, it means nothing.
okay, so this is what I'm saying when you're talking about like ticket sales, like are they holding this show like in some sort of like 80,000 capacity arena, or is it like because when I'm looking at like when they do it, it looks like what may hold like 10, 15, 20,000. Is that how they rocking?
Well, that's what they were doing at the one where Jay-Z and LL were inducted in.
I
So
mean, how
they
many
have a
people
whole
were there, Mike?
ceremony. It's
I'm
kind of
saying
like
that
a
because I'm trying to
concert.
illustrate a point. Like,
Well, yeah, I mean, I would imagine they sell tickets to that too. So yeah,
I mean, it's about 20,000 people there, right?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Everybody that we name can sell 20,000 tickets pretty easily. Like if their core fan base finds out they're going
You
in
know, it's
the
funny,
Rock and Roll Hall
man.
of Fame. Because here's the thing about it: everybody that we're talking about has all sold 1,000,000+ copies. So when you're talking about like generating like a certain sort of fandom, well, it's like well they kind of have that because they all have 1,000,000+ followers.
You know what the Wu-Tang does when they say that they're going on tour. You know what the Wu-Tang does. You
So can
saw
I
when Outkast came and did their 25th anniversary. I couldn't even get a ticket to
so
that
can I
thing,
say
man. That
something?
shit sold out in seconds.
So can I say something about why I really have a problem with the tribe thing? And I'm glad you brought it up because here's the thing. First of all, Fife is gone. And
Yeah.
because of that, well, the tribe really can't give the full show that they would give. That makes it easier for Eminem to take center stage. Let Eminem have to take this award with Wu-Tang Clan, or with Outkast.
They don't want to do that.
They don't want to do that, Mike or Nas. Like, if he were to take this Rock and Roll Hall of Fame thing with Nas, nobody in hip hop would be talking about Eminem making a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You get what I'm saying?
I told you when he went out there with LL, they were prepping us
Showing
for
up.
that.
Like, nobody's even going to remember that he was there if Wu-Tang Clan shows up. Nobody's even going to remember. Be like, oh yeah, Eminem was there. Be like, the whole Wu-Tang Clan was together except for old dirty bastard because he's gone. Like, nobody
Well, I mean,
cares.
sonically though, right? Like the music doesn't even match up. You know what I'm saying? Like,
we're not going to have
and
that.
I think this is interesting that this is happening right before the Super Bowl. You
It's
know what
very
I'm saying? So you're gonna get fan voting. You're gonna get all this exposure. So this is just gonna knock his voting through the roof. Not that it already wasn't. I mean, he's on the whole lineup is the nominees. I'm on the other lineup or whatever. These are the nominees, Coop. Beck, Pat Benatar, Kate Bush, Duvo, Duran Duran, Eminem.
Duran Duran.
Right.
Duran Duran's getting it.
These are groups from the 80s, man. Dolly Parton's on here. Lionel Richie's on here.
Lionel Richie's not in the Rock and Roll Hall of
Lionel
Fame?
Richie is on here. Dionne Warwick's on here. Dionne Warwick's been around since the 60s.
I mean,
Y'all
first of all,
sneaking this man in? Come on, man.
Duran Duran ain't in.
Mm-mm.
It's very problematic. Lionel
Yeah,
Richie ain't
Carly
in?
Simon. I mean, these are 80s acts and before.
I don't know if Carly Simon was popping.
Well, no, she's 70s. Carly Simon's 70s.
Yeah, I don't know if she slept like that long.
Rage Against the Machine.
Rage might be borderline. They still kind of young with it, kind of.
Dolly Parton.
That's
Listen.
very problematic. They don't know what they doing.
But the timing is wild, though. Again.
I'm putting Dolly in. I don't even like. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are they doing? Yeah.
No,
this.
I think, like I said, I expected this because, like I told you, when he went up there and performed with LL Cool J, I told you they were prepping us for Eminem being in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But what I didn't know they were going to skip eligibility years. I thought we were in for this in 2024. So when this news came down the wire for me, I'm like, is this a misprint or is this somebody trolling or whatever? There's no way.
Very early, Mike, you called me very early. You usually text me that early. You called me very early.
You know what? I'm heated, man. And again, all these years, and we want to. First of all, let me say this.
Go ahead.
I will get this out the way. Can Eminem rap? Yes. But if we want to talk about why he sold all these records and why his resume is padded because of these records, we just saw Vlad go out there and try to prove some sort of a point with the little Busta Rhymes and Eminem matchup on Spotify or whatever. What people have to understand, and I do have somewhat of a radio and programming background in that way. What people have to understand is Eminem was getting played on radio stations that didn't even play rap music. Eminem was getting on TRL on MTV. He was debuting his songs on there when most rappers had to go through Rap City, Video Soul, whatever, to get to TRL. You had to have a smash hit to get to TRL. His stuff debuted on these platforms. So he was being marketed, and regardless if Eminem fans want to admit this or not, He was getting marketed along with the NSYNCs, the Backstreets, the Christina Aguileras, and the Britney Spears, and mostly with the Limp Bizkits and Kid Rocks of the world at that time. Korn. He was getting marketed to that audience. So yes, you're going to do numbers. Let's not sit here and act like he had the same route that other hip hop artists had. So I don't even want to qualify numbers when it comes to him. And when you want to compare him to other hip hop artists. In my mind, with all of those things, it's tough for me to even consider him to be a hip hop artist. He raps. Yeah, Fergie raps. And I'm not sitting here, I'm not saying like there is a skill difference, but I'm talking on a marketing level. And we're talking about a sales level.
So this is what I've been saying. Does he have inherent and succinct advantages that nearly nobody else has? Well, yes, that's blatantly obvious. Can he also rap very well? Well, yes, he can. And so I'm not going to quibble with you about any of the sentiments that you are expressing. Because the main sentiment that I've always been expressing is like, no, all that's fine. Just don't tell me that he can't rap.
That's never been the conversation.
So as long as you're acknowledging, no, Mike, you've called him trash before. Other people have
well,
called him trash.
All right, of recent time, yes, his bars are trash. Yes. I'm talking, you know what, and see again, I'm talking about prime Eminem. Could prime Eminem rap? Yes. But now, yes, he's trash.
Okay.
His bars are trash now.
Okay, all I'm saying is that he's capable of doing some things, and even those bars that you say are trash, he's fundamentally doing some technical things on the mic. I know we're talking about technical rhyming.
We always talk about sales and technical skills when it comes to him. We never do that with anybody else. No one ever says, yo, KRS is technical abilities. We just say South Bronx.
But what we cannot do is take the technicalities out of this, because then that degrades the art form and craftsmanship of it. So while we do tend to go that route when speaking of him, we can't degrade the craft, because if we don't make it seem like the technical aspects of what he does well matter, well, then that means that would apply to the rest of everybody else practicing the craft as well, thereby degrading the craft as a whole. So that's why I'm saying it is like, no, is it too much technical stuff going on? Yes, but we also need to check the boxes when he does it, because he does those technical things about as well as anybody, and it's hard to do in this craft.
Okay.
That's all. The rest of it, yeah, they catching some smoke today from me. But other than that,
let's see.
It's well deserved. It's like, what are you doing? He's not even eligible.
Let's go to this list real quick. Let me go to this list one.
The main part we really need to be discussing, in fact, Mike, we don't even really need to be talking about him, because I want you to understand a lot of the stuff that we talk about that surrounds him, like outside of the rhyming comments that we make. Well, Mike, he's not in control of these things. Like, these are people bequeathing these things to him.
That's fine. And I think that Carlos said something along those lines,
we need to
too.
Give them smoke, not him. We need to give them the smoke, not him.
Of course. I'm not, listen, I have no problem with Eminem. I don't know Eminem. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have no problem with him. But at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and act like all the things that everybody's doing around him is correct. He probably knows this shit is inflated. He's a hip-hop head. He knows he ain't made no Illmatic. He knows he ain't made Doggy Style. He knows he ain't made Ready to Die. He knows he hadn't made Aquemini. He knows he hadn't made 36 Chambers. He knows that.
Or the Purple Tape.
No, he knows that.